Right, how are we all? Welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast. Hopefully you're all well. I've got a tea in hand, just to prove it. There you go. Fresh cup of tea there. A little sip. Good evening to you all. Hopefully you're well. Get a brew. And enjoy the evening. Today's going to be really, really interesting. We'll be breaking down all of the upcoming games. Another preview and prediction show. We didn't have one last week, but of course, FA Cup now well and truly out the window. Let's forget about Arsenal. Let's forget about everything else. And let's focus on Sky Bet League One. We've got a full programme across, I think, Saturday and then Monday. I think there's a game on Monday as well. I think that's Port Vale, Peterborough. But either way, we're here. And we're breaking down all of those games, predicting them. Live chat, of course, we are live. Welcome to you all. I've got an amazing live chat. I'll be speaking to all of our wonderful people in the live chat in just a few moments' time. I'm seeing people flying in. And we'll be chatting to those in just a second. Remember, this will be going up as a video as well. So if you are watching this as a video, hello, welcome. Please do leave a like and subscribe. That goes to the chat as well. If you haven't left a like, please do that. And we'll go straight from there. Leave your thoughts in the comment section if you're watching this after the stream. And I'm replying and responding to all of them as per usual. Let's get into it because we've got some amazing games to break down. But first, let's have a little look at what the people have got to say because they're the important ones. They are the important ones. It's not me. It's our brilliant live chat and the people that comment. It's only right to start with the super chat. Thank you very much to Johan Charlton. I presume he's a Charlton fan. In fact, I know he's a Charlton fan. He's a regular viewer here in the live streams. He says, thoughts on Kane and Bond, Charlton fan. We will win 3-0 against Barnsley. Congrats, Sheffield Wednesday with the win. Sheffield Wednesday are facing Wycombe, of course, but as Johan Charlton, should I say, has said in his super chat, they are facing Barnsley. Very confident with his prediction. He's going to go 3-0. We'll come on to where I think that scoreline could be heading. But thoughts on Kane and Bond, of course, two players that joined. Todd Kane, that is, from Coventry City. I believe that's a loan deal. I think it is a loan deal. I know his contract expires at the end of the summer, but that is because, or the start of the summer, the end of the season. I believe that's because Oxford were interested in him. That didn't happen. He's gone to Charlton. And Bond, that's a free transfer from QPR. He got released from QPR. The contract got terminated or whatever. Of course, he had a really successful spell at Ipswich. And if you haven't watched the video, by the way, I did yesterday, one transfer that your League One club has to make this summer. I put Bond down for Oxford United. That isn't going to happen now. He's gone to, or reunited with Charlton in the Vale. He was there before he went to QPR, I believe. He's now back. For me, Bond, I think he's a good signing on a free transfer as well. I mean, I wouldn't have put him forward if I didn't think he'd be a good signing for Oxford. Maybe not so much for Charlton. It's quite strange because I also maybe thought they've got Stockley, who is that sort of quite big physical striker. They've got Leeburn as well. I can see why Bond's available for a lot and quite attractive for a lot of League One clubs, so I can sort of see why. He's proven as well, did really well for Ipswich, and he scored, I think it was 15, 16 goals for them a couple of seasons ago, so he is proven at this level. And as for Todd Kane, reliable player, very versatile as well, I think he plays right back most of the time, but can play in midfield, so he's been around the blocks, Todd Kane, but I think they're two very, very solid signings for me. So thank you very much, Johan, for that. Before we get into the other games, or any games really, we haven't touched on any games yet. Let's have a little look at what the other chats have got to say as well. Nat says, evening, Jack in the chat. Evening to you, Nat. Hopefully you're well. Alex Middleton says, good afternoon. He says celebrity there. I don't know whether or not he's talking to me there, because I'm certainly not a celebrity, so I presume he's not. Amahed Adam says, me and the Ipswich Town fan. And Wednesday. Alex says, evening, Nat. Hey, Jack, how you doing? PUFC Jacob. He also says, how many takes is this going to go on for? How many takes is this going to go on for? Don't know what you mean, mate. But it's going to take a while if we keep reading through these comments. Amazing, by the way. Thoughts on Bakayoko and Dapo offline leaving Bolton? I know Bakayoko's confirmed. Is Dapo offline confirmed? I don't know yet, but I know he is linked with a move away. Alex says, how are you doing? I'm doing well, Alex. Sugar or no sugar, though? It has got one sugar in the tea, and that is the most important chat I've read so far. I'm glad we're getting to the important stuff. Two's the max, anyone? Two's the max for, apparently sends two's the max for the sugars in the tea. I think that's fair. I've gone with one. I'm on a health regime at the moment. I'm not, but I wish I was. Alex says, I'm still absolutely buzzing with the Newcastle win. I'm still wondering how we did it. Crazy result, biggest upset after Stevenage Villa. Did you watch the game? I did. It was a very, very good result for you. I mean, an amazing result for you, knocking out the richest club in the world. Doesn't get much better than that. I thought, and as well, they didn't make too many changes, did they, really? It was a fairly strong Newcastle side. Amazing result. Where's Dapo off to? That's a good question. Where has he gone to? He's left for 800k. Where's he gone? Can someone tell us where he's gone? Have you done Forest Green Rovers just joined? I haven't done anything yet. I'm sat here probably wasting everyone's time. Should we get into it? I think we should get into it. McGuinness is a massive loss. Hard to replace a player like that. That is a big loss. That is a big loss. Gone back to Cardiff, I believe, hasn't he? Or, is that right? I think he was on loan from Cardiff. Which biscuit goes well with a cuppa? I'm glad we're getting these questions in. This does feel important. I'm not a massive fan of Rich T. Can I put that out there? Not a massive fan of Rich T. They're a bit lightweight. A little bit lightweight for me. I think they can get a bit, one dip, be okay. Two dips, soggy, falls in the tea, nightmare. So I'm thinking, but then Bourbon's probably too. Anyway, we're getting well off topic. Right, let's get into it. Let's start off with the games. Let's go to this screen here. I think you can still hear me. This screen, not that screen. Yeah, that is right. Here we go. Let me move over to the live chat on this screen. I'm glad we spent the first however many minutes talking about cups of tea, but, that's important. We're getting the important stuff out of the way. The Exeter City vlogger says, "Hi, mate. How you doing, mate? Bourbon or custard cream?" I've got some custard creams downstairs. Stupidly didn't bring them up during this. I thought eating a biscuit, drinking a cup of tea, it doesn't make for very good podcasting, does it? It doesn't. Right, let's go then. Spider-Man says, "All I know is Wednesday are on their way." On the way where? To promotion, I presume you're saying. Whittaker leaving Swansea. Where do you think he'll end up going? You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. And this, I could be completely wrong here. This is just a complete punt out of the air. And I don't know anything, surprisingly, about the transfer or potential transfer. I can see him going to Plymouth on a permanent deal, just on like the final day or something like that. Someone put it, and I'm not going to claim that as my own thought. But someone put it in the comment section of the video yesterday, and I read it, and I went, I could just see that as well. Like a late swoop. But he probably is good enough to go and play for a championship club. I'm surprised Swansea is selling, really. I guess he is a really good asset, and if he doesn't want to be used, it is a really quite valuable asset. He did so well in League One. You know what? And I know this was a bit of a rumour at the start. We're getting soft topic, by the way, but it's good to catch up. I wouldn't have been surprised if Ipswich hadn't signed Broadhead and Hurst. I wouldn't be surprised if Ipswich had actually gone out and bought him permanently, either this window or the summer. But there we go. Whittaker to Oxford, you heard it here first. I would absolutely, the things I do for that. If you search Dapper, it says he's gone to Wigan, but he's went to Germany. Interesting. Right, let's go to the first game. Then we have got the big game, the title decider. I'm playing there. Of course I'm playing. It isn't the title decider, but people will call it that. Let's go to, it's a big game though. We'll come back to it. Let's start off with MK Dons against Lincoln City. MK Dons are, of course, currently 23rd in the league. 2 defeats on the bounce going into the FA Cup weekend. Lincoln, they're on a little bit of a turgid run, aren't they, really? This was a Lincoln side who were top 10 a couple of weeks ago, and that just shows how this league can be turned on its head in just a matter of weeks and a matter of fixtures. But Lincoln, a pretty disappointing run. Having said that, a really good result at the game before last against Ipswich, and a disappointing result. They weren't able to back that up and obviously lost to Charlton 2-1. Charlton are sort of aside, maybe on the up a little bit, so Lincoln, that's quite an annoying time to play Charlton at the moment. They seem to be getting a little bit of a groove on. But time before that, a really good result against Ipswich. Again, I don't want to keep saying the same thing with Lincoln, but it comes back to the same. The comments about Lincoln I seem to be repeating all the time, but it is that same old story of they need to start beating the teams above them, and the teams below them. Sorry, they need to start beating the teams below them. And above them as well. That would help, but they are doing that quite well. The teams below them, like MK Dons, is where their downfall is. I look at Charlton. Before that game, they were very, very close, or closer than they are now. I still think Lincoln are going to be okay. I thought they might be able to sort of upset a few odds when we look at the top 10, maybe even higher than that. But again, that sort of level of inconsistency, that poor run now, it needs some fresh face. I think January could be quite big for Lincoln, and also for MK Dons as well. Looking at the odds here, MK Dons are evens, 50-50 when it comes to them winning the game, 50%. Lincoln, 25%, 70% specifically, and 35% as well. Get me your predictions in for this one, by the way. MK Dons at Lincoln. I'll give mine in just a second, but just give me yours here. Andy Laidlaw says 2-0 to the Imps. I'm just happy As is back in the squad. I'd take a draw against Ipswich. Scott Twine is linked with a loan move to Bolton. That would be an amazing deal. I can't see it happening, though, to be honest. Spider-Man's backed that up and said Twine is not going to Bolton. I don't see that. I think Twine could get a loan move probably another Championship club. He's not getting played at Burnley, but again, he's had a couple of injuries at the start, I believe, in sort of pre-season, the early parts of the season. I could see him play Championship football. I don't think going to Bolton is the one. What games have you covered so far? Has the Exeter game been gone? It's the first one, mate. I've spent a lot of time chatting at my backside, but it has been important. I've got cups of tea and biscuits, which I think is really important. 2-2, 0-0, 2-1 to the Imps, 1-0 to the Imps, 0-0, 0-0. Oh, God, we're not expecting a thriller here, are we? Speaking to the live chat, not seeing many goals. Catch them on the counter, mate, says Stevie Watson. I don't know. I can probably see a draw, to be honest. I think MK Dons, they were looking sort of looked like they were going to get a bit of a bounce, and then that sort of back-to-back defeats sort of threw them off a little bit. I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to go 1-1. I haven't got pen and paper. I need to write this down. God, that's annoying. That's annoying. Can I find a bit? Is there a pen around it? As a pencil, that could be good. And let me just go and get a quick pad from down here. Here's last week's predictions, by the way, or a couple of weeks ago predictions. I want to write them down because I always come back and go, we missed out on that, and I've completely forgotten what I said. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm seeing a few 0-0s in the chat. I probably will go 1-1. Not really a great result for all, really. I think MK Dons need to get back on track now, and because there is still a very big chance. I still think they're going to be fine, but there is, of course, a chance of relegation. So a win's important at home against Lincoln, who aren't in great form. You feel there's an opportunity there to be grasped. I'm going to Fleetwood against Oxford. Amazing, Derek. Amazing. I'm unfortunately not, but I will be watching the game. Evening, good sir. Jake, you just in time. You've arrived during this MK Dons Lincoln, the first game of the night. I've gone with 1-1, Jake. I don't know what you got to say. You can give us more insight on Lincoln. I was just sort of repeating what I seem to say every single week. But unfortunately, it does continue the trend at Lincoln that you need to start beating some teams. You need to start beating some teams below you, and MK Dons is an opportunity to do that. You're predicting a draw again. In fact, I've got the predictions from the other night. Can I show? Have I got them so I can read them out? Because I think I predict a draw every single week for you. And, well, to be fair, you've had quite a few draws recently, and annoyingly, a few more losses as well. 2-1 Lincoln. Evening, Jake, mate, hope you're well, says Nat. Getting a lovely introduction as he swoops his way into the stream. Have we got a... I've lost them now. Pressure on Ipswich to win. Big crowd. Well, press highly and frustrate them. Mike Cooper will keep a clean sheet, so they're going to be 0-0, 1-0 to the Argyle. We'll come on to that. Right, here we go. I've got the last week's one. I went 2-2. It was 1-1 last time, so I got it right. Well, I didn't get it right, but I got the outcome right. I've gone with a draw again for you here. Yeah, Jake, give me your thoughts. We'll move on, but of course, Jake will give his thoughts and we'll read them out. Here it is, just on cue. We're a bit of a shambles at the moment. Poor showing Saturday, but a striker meant to be coming through the door tomorrow. I think we lose, if I'm honest. Interesting, Jake. I do feel MK Dons are on a little bit of an up. I feel like they've had that sort of flushed up their system, weirdly, with those two defeats. And before that, was getting on a little bit of a roll. But I think now Jackson's got a bit of time, he's had a bit of a break, hasn't he, now to sort of really implement what he's trying to do. And I still feel that squad, I've stayed quite consistent in that. I think that squad generally does have the ability to stay in the league fairly comfortably. But, you know, we've seen sides go, they surely can't go down, they do go down. So you can't guarantee anything. Alex says Lincoln should easily win this. MK Dons again back to how things have been this season. Horrendous. Will be a masterclass from Mandrew. Ipswich 2 will come on to the Ipswich Plymouth ones in just a second. Right, so yeah, I'm going to go 1-1. I've gone with another draw, as much as that's going to annoy Jake. But at the moment, I didn't predict it was the Charlton result because it is FA Cup week. But I'm absolutely dreading it. Look forward to the pub and the Jaeger, though. Up the fun bus. Absolutely, Jake. Enjoy it. Do you think the MK Dons manager will go to Pompey? I do. I think Liam Manning probably will be off to Portsmouth. We'll discuss that actually when we come to Portsmouth. But we're taking so much time. Let's go. Let's move. We've got things to do. Like go to bed and wake up tomorrow morning. At this rate, we'll be going through the night. Right then, Accrington against Bristol Rovers. Here we go. Right, let's have a little look at the league table then. Bristol Rovers, back-to-back wins for them, of course, coming into this one. Had a little bit of a drop-off. You can see those two defeats prior to those two wins, but now sort of getting back on track. It's almost like they got there, they didn't like being in the playoffs, allergic to it, fell off, and then the wins have now creeped them back into a place where, again, they've got a real chance. A few issues maybe being that Barnsley have got 3 games in hand. Wycombe have got a game in hand. Bolton have also got a game in hand. Derby have got a couple. So again, that doesn't favour them as much, but you still feel they've got a really, really good squad there. And I'm actually really impressed to see sort of how this Bristol Rovers side has developed through the season. And I was a little bit worried about those 2 defeats maybe derailing their campaign, similar to Lincoln. Sorry, Jake, but sort of they were in a really, really good place, weren't they? And then they went on quite a horrendous rut. They're in sort of that place now. And they sort of tumble down and you sort of go, oh, geez, Lincoln are down at, 17th, 16th. And you sort of, same with Bristol Rovers after that sort of really good high. But it seems as though Bristol Rovers have got back on track and they haven't allowed that to derail their season, which is important. And also, you do sort of see, we're coming into the part of the campaign now where we're seeing the squads be stretched and we're seeing where these squads really are. I think between January and March, really, we're now sort of really seeing, right, this is where the squad started. This is the first half of the season. They can have January as almost a chance to, really rejuvenate that squad. You're post-Christmas now. Where are we at? Where are we at now between January and March? And if Bristol Rovers can continue the way they have in the last 2, then they're going to be in a playoff race, fairly comfortably because it is so open. As for Accrington, and having said that, Accrington are in the relegation zone and they haven't won a game in the last 4. They've lost the last 2. But again, it's so tight down the bottom there. And I also want to say as well, it is pretty... So it's almost you've got a little league tables in there. That relegation battle is like a little league table. Forest Green Rovers can, not easily, but I mean, it's doable, very doable with a good run. They're in a horrendous run at the moment, but with a good run, can get out of it. They're on 20 points. Cambridge are on 24. It's so close. You probably would sort of edge Cheltenham out of that. But then I thought Morecambe were absolutely nailed on. They're now 19th. And then you've got MK Dons thinking, although I said that squad is able to stay up, I think, pretty well with the players they've got. They're now 23rd, and they're now really, really in an uphill battle, ultimately, because Morecambe have found some form. You only need one side to find some form down there, one side to find some form up there, and that league table can shift so much. Sorry for going off on a little bit of a tangent there. Hope that does make sense. But what I mean by that is Accrington now have really got to start picking up and really got to try and find some gear. Use January, use that as a different, as a bit of a refreshment period. Bring some players in. Yes, they're going to have limited resources, but be clever. John Coleman's got experience, not just as a manager, but also as somebody who's very, very, I think, specific to the players he wants to bring in. I think their recruitment over the for quite a long period of time, really. John Coleman's been there years, but I think he's been very sensible with the players he's brought in. And he also knows exactly what he needs. This won't be the first time he's been in a relegation battle in League One. We all know that. Yes, for the last couple of years, they have been higher than this. But, this window now is going to be quite important. They do need a striker. They do. That is the problem. They only could score 21 goals. Forest Green Rovers have also only scored 21 as well, but again, that isn't very many. Look at Burton, they scored 32, and they're below them. They do need to start scoring some more goals. That will be on the agenda. But anyway, that's sort of a bit of a mid-season review for those 2 clubs, but I thought that is important to say. Accrington, Bristol Rovers, odds here, 35%, 42%, specifically 42 to 37, but that is seeing Rovers and Joe Barton's Rovers, the favourites, at 69 to 50. And you can see why, form plays a big part in that, league table plays a big part of that. Maybe not so much home advantage, that would obviously be swaying towards Accrington. Give me your thoughts in here now, because we've got 95 people in here right now. By the way, 95 people. Can we hit the like button, please? That would be very, very good. In fact, while you do that, this gives you an opportunity. Leave a like button. I'll have a little sup of my tea. It's getting cold, and I've don't want to waste any tea. That is a criminal. It takes a while to hit that like button, so I'll have another sip. Cheers. Right, let's read some chats as well. 2-1 Rovers. Accrington at home will frustrate them, but Collins will shine through. Won't be the most entertaining game, but the team needs to win when they aren't at their best game. Thank you very much for that, Alex. 1-0 Rovers, 2-0 Rovers, 2-0 Rovers. They'll be Accrington, but I don't think they were great. Coburn and Collins. Sorry, by the way, we've got a lot of chats here coming through. Amazing to get involved. Coburn and Collins look good, but defence look poor. They'll miss out on the playoffs, I think. I don't think Bristol Rovers will get in that top 6, but because of how open it is, again, it is very open. Matete, that's the Plymouth Matete, of course. We'll come on to that game. 2-1 Rovers. Accrington at home will frustrate them, but Collins will shine through. Won't be the most entertaining game, but the team needs to win. They aren't at their best game. Ipswich will get a lot of Ipswich chat, a lot of Plymouth chat. I expected it. 3-1 Rovers. 3-1 to Bristol Rovers in there as well. 2 of those back-to-back. 3-0 Rovers. Simple in the end after the first goal goes in. Jack the Boss 19 is saying that when that breakthrough happens, it's going to be the floodgates opening. Does anyone know if McGuinness is still at Wednesday? I don't know whether or not you're winding me up. The emoji there suggests that you do know what you're doing. I don't think he is. Excuse me. Yeah, so let's write down my prediction. A little bit of a time to sort of think where I've gone to. What was the other one I did? I did one all, didn't I? I'm probably going to go with the Bristol Rovers win, to be honest. I do see a win here. I don't think it's going to be as comfortable because Accrington just will play so nitty-gritty and at home as well. They will frustrate. I think it was Alex that said it. They're gonna really, really frustrate them. So yeah, but I'm gonna go 1-0. You know, I'm gonna go 1-0 to Rovers. Sort of quite a tight game, quite scrappy. Quite tight, quite scrappy. By the way, anyone in the Discord server, we've got 102 people right now. You can join the Discord server, League One chat all the time. Got a really interesting podcast I want to do, and it's completely stolen by James Lawrence Alcott. So I won't do it straight away because that would be definitely stealing. But if you give it a week, it's not stealing. So it works. But I want to sort of get people involved, get some fans involved, send in sort of videos on their predictions now with the halfway point of the season, sort of react to them sort of straight away without watching them. I want to react to them live. Well, not live, but react to them. Well, it'll be live for me, but as a video probably. And so if you're interested in that and you want to see some of that, go to the Discord server, join that. It's free, completely easy, League One chat all the time. And also, fan call-ins will be back very soon as well. I want to do more of them. And there's something else I want to say. By the way, if you're in the Discord server, can you please sort of just share the stream and stick it in there and so at everyone so that people know that I'm live? Because I completely forgot to do it. But yeah, thank you very much. But to Discord, place to be. Right, Barton, Cameron. He is a little bit. Anyone wants to see what Cameron... I can't say it because I don't want to get demonetised. But Cameron, to read his chat, he's not wrong. Right, let's go to the next one then. Let's move on. Let's go to Cambridge United against Morecambe. This is actually really interesting as well because a couple of weeks ago, this was sort of... Well, it was two sides comfortably in the... Well, not comfortably in the relegation zone. Morecambe were comfortably in it. Cambridge were sort of flirting in it. But Morecambe was sort of like really, really solid in there. I think someone asked me as well. I think they asked me, Burton and Morecambe, were they like nailed on for relegation? I think I probably said, I think they probably are. You know, Morecambe were bottom of the league for so much of the season. But like I said, you know, earlier, because of how open it is and because of the points being absolutely ludicrous with the way that you get a couple of results and it changes so quickly, this is the situation now. Morecambe versus Cambridge. Morecambe have won 3 on the bounce, and they're on 24 points. Hypothetically, a couple more wins for Morecambe, they could be mid-table. I mean, that is absolutely crazy, and we're still halfway through the season, so Morecambe have got every chance, and fair play to them. They really, really have turned it around. So this is going to make it, you know, put the pressure on Cambridge. We've got two sides here. Morecambe won their last 3. Cambridge have lost their last 3, so there's a lot of pressure on Mark Bonner as well, because... Again, although I think he did so well last season, there is pressure on him now. Breaking news, you don't want to get relegated as a manager, so there is a lot of trouble there. And the bottom line is there's a chance of it. I mean, look how open it is. It works both ways. Sides pick up a run, you move out of that position, you lose a couple of games or lose 3 on the bounce like Cambridge are. I mean, look at Forest Green. The last 4 games they've been absolutely dire. It's Joe White says we're going to lose our defence in tatters. Both editions signed. You signed for Saturday. Drew at best. 2-0 Morecambe. Up the Bolton says hello. By the way, if you haven't left a like, please do that. We always try and get 100 likes on the live streams while we're live. So if you could do that, there's 113 people watching right now. If you haven't left a like, please do that. And it mean the absolute world to leave a like. And it's free to do so. Thumbs up button. It goes white if you are on your phone. And that means you have to like. You haven't subscribed, by the way. Please do that. Lots of content coming your way over the next couple of weeks. Football, FA Cup week's now finished, so League One's in full swing. Lots of roundups, prediction shows, live streams, other concepts like the one yesterday, looking at the transfer window. So much. Andrew Rawlinson says 1-0. Morecambe have had a resurgence, and it's lovely to see. Cambridge are also poor right now. 2-0 Morecambe. They can stay up with the form they are on. Absolutely. And a couple of weeks ago, they definitely couldn't, in my eyes, really. And that's how you should not think and not look at games, with such a short mind. You should look at it, look at the long term and how things can change. And Morecambe have definitely proved that. Cambridge 43%, Morecambe 31%, specifically 53% towards Mark Bonner's Cambridge United. Morecambe 38% when they normally have those odds of 9-4. So, interestingly, having said all of that, Cambridge are favourites. I think home advantage will be taking control of those odds, and more people are putting money on the home side here. But I think the chat are right. We're always right. we're always right here on the chat and myself. So, we can't be wrong. We won't look at last week's predictions, but we can't be wrong. I'm going to go... I probably can still see a draw here, but I'm gonna back Morecambe. I'm going to go 2-1. But realistically, that is a little bit of me being like, we can't sit on the fence. So, realistically, I probably could see a draw here. I think the home side, Cambridge, will be really, really well up for it and fully aware of how important this is. And they can't afford to lose this game. But I think Morecambe, maybe the form could be important. Fid says we need McNally or someone. You do need McNally. And you know why Fids knows he needs McNally? It's because he watched yesterday's video. One transfer that your League One club must make this January. Definitely go and check it out after this one. Thank you very much. Have you done Wycombe yet? No, I haven't done Wycombe yet. I'd like to see for menu or run a games where we try and get anyone. Would rather see Egan Riley. Yeah, he's at Burton at the moment, isn't he? 5-1, 5-3 Morecambe, says Pingo. Well, Pingo's going in strong there. He's not messing about with his prediction. He's not messing about. I take a draw given our situation, honestly. Yeah, I could. You know what? Bottom line, truth here. 1-1 with my instinct, but I have just... No, I'm going to... No, they always say go with your gut. They always do say that. I don't know who they are, but they do say it. I'm going to go 1-1. 1-1. I can see a draw. I'm edging towards Morecambe, but I think form, sometimes in these grudge games for Cambridge, they're going to see through that. I'm going to go draw. Right then, let's move on to Burton Albion versus Shrewsbury Town. 4-3 Cambridge. There's some thrillers in here. Seen some absolute thrillers. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a thriller like that. Wycombe, 98 games of boredom week in, week out. Yeah. Well, that's a year of agreement, also a year of... You've got all right to say that. Right, Burton versus Shrewsbury. Burton, 22nd in the league in that bottom four, but, really in the last couple of weeks they've sort of had quite an inconsistent one, but they have won 2. So, 2 of their 5 wins have come in the last 5 games. Shrewsbury have lost their last 3, and I'm a little bit disappointed by Shrewsbury. Can we have a little chat about Shrewsbury, people? We've got 120 people in there right now. Please leave a like. Amazing stuff. But Shrewsbury, they're disappointing me. They really, really are. And I spoke to a Shrewsbury fan in the call-in before the season started, and there was a lot of optimism around Shrewsbury, and there still could be. There really, really could still be. And I know I'm looking at the last 3 games. I'm completely contradicting what I said a minute ago about how Morecambe, were absolutely dead and buried, and now they've gone on three wins on the bounce, and I'm now going how amazing Morecambe are. But Shrewsbury are disappointing me anyway. Before those last 3 games, that hasn't helped them. But they should have been a side pushing in that top 10. And if they're not careful, they're going to be back down to where they were last season. Before this sort of, what was apparently, and I say apparently because it looked like it and turns out it hasn't, quite a rejuvenated, refreshed, new direction in the transfer window. That they brought in some really, really exciting players that they weren't really bringing in before. And now... I'm looking at it and I'm going, you're back where you were before. 11 defeats. I mean, look at the league table. Can we get last season's league table up? I know we can. It's a little bit irrelevant, but I remember we were sort of saying, we can actually, can't we? League table last season. Oh, look, who's in 3rd? MK Dons. Who's 8th, by the way? Oxford. Bowled it, didn't we? Bowled it right at the end. But look at Shrewsbury, 18th. I know that is obviously another set of however many games on, about 23, but you also... This is what I'm trying to say is in a really awful way of describing it in quite long-winded terms. There was a lot of excitement about the new way they were going about their business, and there's a lot of optimism going into the campaign, and they're sort of falling back in their old trends. I don't know. Thought Shrews were all right against us. For every win, there's 3 woeful performances where they only pick up a point. Jake Tongs said, get off my screen. To be fair, Jake, I don't want to break it to you, mate, and I like you, Jake. I have a lot of respect for you, and we get along well, but you're not much different. I'll be honest. You are 16th. Sorry. And last season, where did you finish? 17th or something, so... Jake, we get along well, mate, but... I'm sorry. I know there has been a rejuvenation in results and performances, but generally, similar position. Sorry. Cameron says, good about Declan. What's your Ipswich Plymouth prediction? We'll come on to that. Of course we will. It says normal person, as opposed to a weird or perfect person. I don't get why Sheffield Wednesday are worried they're second. They're second. They won every third place club. They should be happy about their future result. 0-0, says Craig Highland. Anyway, where were we? Sort of got a little off track there. What I was trying to explain is Shrewsbury, get a grip, basically. Get a bloody grip. You're falling apart. You're falling apart again. Where's the game gone? Where is it? No, that one. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Shrewsbury. Odds aren't backing them either. Burton 43%, Shrewsbury 30%. Agreed, mate. We're absolutely woeful. Part of the fun, though. Exactly, Jake. I love Jake. Fid says we're massive bottlers no matter what. Do the Ippy prediction, Tom. I'll break the news to you now, and I'm going to expect a massive people just turn off the stream. It will be one of the last games. Sorry, but that's how this world works. Because there's a lot to talk about in that one. 2-0 Shrewsbury. I don't get why they aren't doing great. But Burton are put up nicely, very bad, and should go down. It's, if anything, other than a win for Shrewsbury, they should be worried. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm back in Burton here. I'm going 3-1 Burton. I've learnt my lesson of not trying to be safe and sit on the fence and putting loads of draws, because there isn't many draws. So I'm going to go a 3-1 Burton win. 2-1 to Shrewsbury. People are backing Shrewsbury, but look away from... Shrewsbury are really, really struggling at the moment. Really, really struggling. I wouldn't be surprised as well. I've got to be really careful because I don't know the ins and outs of it. But obviously, is it Steve Cottrell, isn't it? The gaffer at Shrewsbury. I know who he is. I know his face, but I always sort of butcher how to pronounce his second name because I'm not very good with names. If you've watched the podcast for a while, you'll know that pronunciation's never been my strong point. Where is it? Yeah, Steve Cottrell. Yeah. He's a very experienced manager, and Shrewsbury, I think he is quite well respected at Shrewsbury, and I think generally in League One he's very well respected. I think he's a top manager. But again, there will be question marks. Why are we on golf? No, we're not. We just lost the sport completely now. Yeah. I don't know. There might be question marks there. By the way, question for the chat. 131 people watching. First manager, or I say first, you've had quite a few. I didn't mean that. Next manager to get sacked. Give me your thoughts now. Burton absolutely battered us. Don't know if it says more about them or us, though. Yeah, I'm going to back Burton here. 0-0 Ballfest. I need to pick a League One score for my bet. Who should I pick? Or any score. Ipswich ITFC says golf predictions. I don't know much about golf, to be honest. I'm going to show my lack of sport knowledge across the board. Tiger Woods? It must be good. Right, let's move on then to the next couple. We've got loads. Port Vale, Peterborough. And he's given his thoughts on Steve Cottrell in the chat. He's gone with a nice approach. He's gone with his favourite vegetable. Regan says Wednesday, Wycombe 0-0. We'll come on to that. Oh, look, it's our main event. Wow. Port Vale versus Peterborough is our main event. Not quite sure how that's worked. I know we've got Andrew, by the way, in the chat. He's a Port Vale fan. And this is by no means going against this fixture. But did no one tell Sky that Plymouth versus Ipswich is happening? Or even better still, did no one tell them that Fleetwood are playing Oxford? It's a 14th versus 15th clash. What are Sky Sports playing at? Port Vale versus Peterborough on telly. I mean, fair play to Port Vale. I mean, they are the sort of exciting story of League One, really, aren't they? A side that should not be based on predictions at the start of the season, 10th, and that's down to them being incredible. So I get it, but amazing. Cambridge manager, says Richard. Got to be Darren Ferguson out and McCann in. Jake probably hasn't it, yeah. They've done it a couple of times. I reckon they're just swooping back in. I get how many games has Darren Ferguson? Like, how many games did he lose in a row before he gets sacked? And then McCann inevitably. They don't even open. They don't even how Pompey sort of going for all their candidates at the moment. Sort of like, yeah, Chris Wilder, he's all right, but he probably won't want to come. But they have said that he might want to come, so we'll put him in the hat. Liam Manning didn't really do very well in the second half of his sort of tenure at MK Dons, but he plays really good football, so have him in. And they've got like the other lads, haven't they? They've Lee Bradbury, who no one's ever heard of, and he's like, yeah, give him a go. And then they've sort of that doesn't happen at Peterborough. They go, manager's not working, sack him. They all agree on the sacking, and they all look at each other and go, Darren's available. Yep, Get him in, and then Darren, he doesn't have it. That bloke must have absolutely no shame. He just goes, "You have sacked me 3 times, but yeah, go on then, give it a go. 3rd time lucky, isn't it?" He's like, comes in, he goes, "This is the one. This is the time." He's done it so many times. Wembley of the North, says Jack. Sky already did it with Plymouth and Ipswich. Oh, did they? Did they do it? Is that a game they've already done? Do it again. Don't do it again. Don't give League One exposure. God. I'd be far too raucous of them. 3-1 Peterborough. Port Vale are obviously good, but they aren't better than the Posh, and they aren't at home. New manager bounce as well. I mean, it isn't, is it? That's a good point, Alex. There's no new manager bounce because it's the same gaffer. It's the same bloke. You can't get a new manager bounce if you keep appointing the same guy. You know, it's like, I'm trying to think of an analogy, but you know, you can't sack someone 3 times and expect a new manager bounce. I mean, to be fair, at Peterborough, it has worked a couple of times. They've been sort of up and down, but there we go. Ipswich Plymouth should be on TV as they have been up there all season. What a waste. Well, Port Vale also have been up there. Not as high as that, but they should be up there. 35 points, Port Vale. Peterborough also on 35. No one expected that. If you'd have told Port Vale fans that after 24 games with the same amount of points as Peterborough United, they probably would have fallen off their chair. Darryl Clark to Pompey on the cards. I mean, there's a lot on the cards at the moment at Pompey. I think every manager out of a job and in a job are sort of linked to that. Vale, lack of depth. I think we need 3 or 4 players, but I accept us to win on Monday. 2-1, interesting. Absolutely hopeful. I see a 2-2 draw in this game. Yeah, I see Port Vale having a go here. Well, the tea's going cold. The odds, look how close that is. I mean, to be fair, the odds are close and everything else is close. 37%, 38%. Oh, it's gone, like, warm. That isn't very nice. Yeah, I don't... Like someone says, any other situation, it will go, yeah, Peterborough, good chance here, new manager bounce. But it's the same bloke. And Port Vale, you really can't write them off. In fact, look at this home record here. 12th for Port Vale. Peterborough's away record. Not great, is it? Not great. Haven't won an away game in the last 4. Lost 3 of them. Yeah, I think that's decided it. Port Vale, I reckon, can capitalise on that. Glad we managed to beat Vale twice 0-0. Poor Cuppa got made not to get drunk. It will get drunk at it. I mean, it's getting warm now, but it will. I mean, obviously it's not getting warmer. That'd be sort of defying the world. But it is. It's getting cooler, and that isn't very comforting. Or Port Vale for this game. Yeah, I'm going Port Vale. I'm going to go. By the way, 147 people watching right now. If you haven't left a like, please do it. It'd be amazing. Please do subscribe as well. On the road to 3.9 thousand subscribers. And then, dare I say it, 4K, eventually. 2-1 Vale. I'm going to agree with you, Ipswich Town. I'm going to go 2-1 to Port Vale here. Would not be good for Peterborough. But I think Peterborough away record was really, really bad. But then maybe Darren's come in and he's gone, look, I know I've been here 3 times, but 4 times now. Let's improve the away record because that is the biggest downfall. But we can all watch the games on Sky Sports. So we can all analyse that prediction together on Monday. Right then. Let's go to Exeter City against Forest Green Rovers. How long have we been live for? I feel like we've been live for years. We probably haven't. How long are we live for? 40 minutes. That's alright. Still got time. Right then. So, Sheffield... I don't know why I said Sheffield Wednesday. I sort of just caught eyes Sheffield Wednesday and just said their name. Exeter 11th, Forest Green Rovers 24th. Exeter have sort of had quite a weird transfer window, haven't they? They sort of lost Matt J to... Is it Colchester? I think it is. And then... Dieng to Gillingham. Gillingham are sort of picking up all these players because they've got some money, and they've sort of, I think they're bottom of the league, but they've got a new owner and they've got a little bit of splash to cash to splash. That's the one. So they're sort of picking up these different players. I think they've matched Dieng's release clause for Exeter. So will that derail them? I know they've brought is it White from Newcastle on loan? So I think they've actually probably just got the same squad, really. They've just sort of replaced. They haven't really improved it yet, but I wouldn't say they've massively lost anyone of importance that they haven't replaced. Forest Green are in absolute... I mean, they are in disarray. 49 goals conceded. I know Burton have conceded 50, but at least they scored 32. Forest Green Rovers conceded 49 and only scored 21. I was worried about Forest Green before the start of the season, but I was also a little bit like, no, new team in League One, they've got a bit of a chance, but it has just, it just hasn't really gone the way they would have wanted it to. Have a look here. We went down to 10 minutes after 20 minutes. The Bolton are about to sell off a Lion. We'd have him. Not for 800k though. We ain't got that sort of money. We've got to buy a stand. Can't be buying Dappers over a stand. Although, I think about it. Yeah, Colchester. Exeter 3-0. Jack Johnson says they're after Jack Marriott too, as in Gillingham. Cambridge won't go down. 4-0 Exeter. Forest Green Rovers are shocking all over the pitch. Even worse in defence. Exeter are brilliant up front. Should easily capitalise on them. That is a really good point, Alex. The Exeter attack, even with Dieng going, he wasn't really in their best front three. For me, their best front three is Stansfield, Nombe, and Javali Brown. Such a lethal front three. If they can stop shipping some goals, you can see that they have conceded 36 goals, but they've been able to sort of make up with it, the 38. They're on a good run as well. Back-to-back wins. I mean, again, similar to Port Vale, they've had a really, really good season. It's also, I almost sort of see Port Vale and Exeter as the Cheltenham and Cambridge of last year, but actually arguably even better. So I know Cambridge and Cheltenham were sort of around, probably to finish at 14th, 15th, or 13th, 15th. But these two clubs have been so, so good. And what they've done is they've actually just stuck to their philosophy. And they didn't, also importantly, they didn't lose many players in that promotion. Forest Green Rovers, their biggest downfall was losing so many key players. And their squad was in, I mean, they brought quite a few in, but it's so dangerous to do that. It doesn't click like it hasn't. Lost their manager as well. If it doesn't click, it's hugely, hugely concerning. And I think Forest Green Rovers unfortunately have experienced that. Only won 5 games, considered 49 goals, lost 15 from 25. Exeter says 3-0, I presume, to Exeter. I heard Dapo's off to WWE after Albert on Sorensen. There's Jake Tong. Not happy with Dapo's violence there, Jake. I think he's off to Germany, but he could be doing WWE in Germany. I don't know whether that is something they do. I presume they do. I don't know. I don't follow the German WWE, but I imagine that is a potential career path for Dapo. Steve Masterson says Exeter in reasonable form, so going for a 3-1 to them. Exeter 3-1. Most people expected Exeter, so going for a 3-1 to them. Most people expected Exeter and Forest Green switch around. Maybe not as high as 11th for Forest Green Rovers, but I get what you mean. Not only did they lose their players, they lost their manager. Shocking win for them. Yeah, you look back now, don't you? It's sort of a weird one where you go, yeah, but they've done that. You go, and now you sort of see where they are, and you go, yeah, never going to end well. 4-0 Exeter, yeah. A lot of people back in Exeter. Let's have a little look at the odds here. In fact, we haven't even got Forest Green Rovers. They've sort of gone, don't bother about that. 60%. That's fairly high. It's fairly high. And I'm going to back it, yeah. I don't know about it. Yeah. I'm going to go 3-0. I think, you look at where these two sides have gone since their promotion, it was sort of like that, really, wasn't it? Forest Green Rovers, didn't they win League 2? Is that right? I could be making that up. I think they won League 2. And they were sort of like that, really. Well, I should be used to both hands. I can't do two clubs with one hand, can I? They were sort of like, I've dropped the pencil. This wasn't worth it. But what I'm trying to say is they were sort of going like that, and I think Forest Green Rovers had such a damaging summer, they've just gone like that. And to Exeter's credit, really, even though they've lost their manager, they've been able to be so... That front three has been able sort of to get better and better, improve as a trio, and I think they've just gone like that. 60 for Exeter, 40 for a draw, I reckon. Really, no chance of a win for Forest Green Rovers. Forest Green Rovers did win. It'd be a fair bit. They did. 1-0 Forest Green Rovers, yeah. They did win the league, didn't they? I thought they did. I don't know League 2 well enough, but there we go. How many likes are we on, by the way? How many likes are we on? We should be on 100, because there's 150 people watching, so... 155. That sounded ungrateful. I didn't mean it like that, but a part of me did. Please do leave a like. Please do subscribe. Amazing, by the way. This live chat, all joking aside, has been incredible. It's been so good. The interaction has been incredible. Have you done Charlton? I haven't yet. We'll come on to Charlton. Yeah, did I get in the end? I dropped my pencil as well, didn't I? That's what's going on. 3-0 Exeter. I got a feeling Exeter are going to wipe the floor. Forest Rovers really not in a good place at the moment. This could be Ian Birchall's last, potentially. I mean, we talked about earlier about managers being sacked. I don't think he's far away. But then, I don't know, sound horrible, but you sack him and you sort of just go, is it worth sacking him? You might as well just sort of see through the season. But I guess it is worth it, and they could get a bounce and get out of it, like, Morecambe did. I don't Forest Rovers only beat us on goal difference, so we're definitely improving whilst they massively dropped off. Exactly. That was my sort of weird hand analogy. That's what I was trying to do, Roach. But you're spot on. You explained it far better than I did. Andrew says Forest Rovers started so well last season but faded badly. Still won the league though. They need to really pick up. I mean, Forest Rovers, if this is the start of their fade, then they're in deep trouble. Just a word, Charlton has given me PTSD from Saturday. Terrible food, terrible ground, terrible clubs, Joshua Jones. He's not holding back on his thoughts on Forest Rovers. But they are healthy, Josh. It's healthy, it's green, it's eco. So, I'm just saying, environment should be on the forefront of everyone's minds. And you know, if they do go down, at least they saved the planet. They didn't save themselves, did they? They got relegated, but they did save a couple of trees. I'm joking. They saved a lot, actually. And what they're doing is good, but their season, they're on the field. Off the field, amazing. On the field, it's not doing very well. Exeter says vegan chicken. I feel like we're going down the wrong path here. I do not want to sort of upset any people that is vegan. I respect you massively, but I'm talking about Forest Green. How have we gone to Forest Green to vegan chicken? This is purely a League One chat. And Forest Green, they're struggling. That's the bottom line. Take away their off-the-field stuff. I don't think watching Forest Rovers week in, week out is healthy, to be honest. It probably isn't, Alex. You're right there. A bit of a contradiction there, isn't it? You know, Lee Bourne, by the way, the reason why we're sort of stalling is because for some reason the sofa score is sort of just not corresponding. It's not nice. I think we're lagging a little bit. Got a little bit of a lag. Just wait until we sort of get a little bit more control. I think we're okay now. Let's read some of your thoughts while we wait for that on this screen here. I don't know if it is me or is the stream lagging a bit. Yeah, it is, Alex. I'm just trying to sort that out now. It should be a little bit better now. When they came to a Pride Park, to be honest, it was one of the easiest games I've seen. We've got a little bit of back delay because I'm watching the stream back. Last season, the battle at the bottom was quite exciting. By the way, is the chat, is it sort of, are we back a little bit now? Is that better? We're good now? Yeah. Had to sort of go out a little bit and come back. It sort of got a little bit. Sofa score crashed and then we all crashed. We're good now. 194 people are watching right now. We're nearly to 200 people watching. We're ready for the big one. We'll come on to that in just a second. Of course, I'm talking about Fleetwood versus Oxford now. I feel like as soon as we started talking about Forest Rovers and sort of vegan chicken, everyone sort of went, right, sofa score went, end that conversation. We're now going to break our website. So, I'm sorry. Garner will look up the fight to... Gamer will be up for a fight, though. Go up. Right, let's move over to... Have we already spoken about Whittaker Recall? We have. But we'll speak about it a little bit more when we go up to... all good here. Right, I think we're ready to switch back over. Let me go here. I feel like we've lost Safer Score completely now. Oh, no. Can we go to that? That. I can't believe it. Did I change the screen? I think we're okay now. Right. Sorry about that. We'll come back now. Right then, we had a little bit of a stall, but you know we can move on from that. Let's move on to the next one then. Where are we? I've got the pencil again. I think I actually ever picked it up. Right, let's go to the next one. Where are we? Let's stop that now. Right, Charlton Barnsley. Let's have a little look. At Charlton Barnsley. Right then, Barnsley 6th in the league. Disappointing defeat, of course, in their last one. Charlton 12th. I've got a feeling about Charlton. Something about them. They've signed, of course, 2 players. We spoke about it right at the start. But Barn, I think, Todd Kane coming in. I think those are 2 players, I think, do improve them. They do improve the squad. I think they are good players. I'm sure a couple of people sort of not fully convinced about Bon. But I think he is a good striker. Maybe not exactly what Charlton need. They've sort of got Stockley as that quite a physical striker, but that's that. Barnsley, like I say, disappointing result in their last one, but before that, really, really good run. Still in that top 6. This is quite an interesting game, really. I think at home as well, the Vale. I think Dean Holden, I spoke to Tyler Rowlinson, by the way, the Charlton, you've got a Charlton channel. There's something going on at Charlton. There's a lot of optimism there, and that is quite exciting. So I think a lot of people are quite excited about that, about what they're trying to do there. So, yeah, Charlton seem to be quite a prospect, really, and there's optimism there, which is completely the opposite of what it was a couple of weeks ago. So Dean Holden's come in, he has sort of really, I think, maybe highlighted a couple of things and probably improved them quite quickly, which is always good as a manager when you're a new one. Anyway, 2-1 Barnsley, 1-1 Charlton on the same okay form. Barnsley seem to be on a mini bad run, so draw. I mean mini bad. I mean they already lost 1 game before, but I get what you mean. In how open it is right now, if you lose 1 game, it is almost that you don't have to start as a bad run, do you? Really? One sec, just get the pencil. I dropped. But I do get what you mean. Yeah. Let's have a look at the odds here. Charlton's 37%, Barnsley 38%, so 32% and 44% specifically. Interesting. Yeah, I can see a draw probably. I know this is quite boring because I keep doing draws, but Dean Holden is special. Ness and Leeburn, both Premier League future. Ten Hag was impressed. 3-0 win. I saw something about Ten Hag earlier. Bon can do a job for them if he's in good form. For us, scored 12 goals in the first half of last season before dropping off. Yeah, and there's a little bit of inconsistency there, maybe. Barnsley are the only ones to outplay us this season. Barnsley won a really, really good run. When they won like 5 or 6 games on the bounce, they looked unstoppable. And then lost the last one against Bolton. They did get a really early red card, which would have obviously affected them quite massively. And the game plan does almost get thrown out the window instantly there. But yeah, I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go 2-2, which I think, to be honest with you, 2-2. 2-2. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-2. I think that probably... I'm going to go that. Right then, let's move on to the next couple. Next few. Let's move. Got a few more to get through. I reckon we can win 3-1. Interesting. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlton do it. Dizzy McGoldrick says, I reckon Plymouth will fall off. We'll come on to the Plymouth game in just a second. I know a lot of people are waiting for that, so we will come on to that. Let's do this game. Get out of the way. Fleetwood versus Oxford United. Oxford, it's just inconsistent FC, really, isn't it? It's sort of up and down. You don't really know what you're going to get from Oxford. I don't know what I'm going to get from Oxford. No one else does. And I think even the players don't know what they're going to get from themselves. It's just a little bit weird, really. It's been so weird of, just how we've been just in performance and in result, just completely off it, and sometimes we're fine, but we play in patches, we play in moments. Sometimes we look like, we could beat anyone, and there's other times where we look like we couldn't beat ourselves. So it looks like, really, really could be anything. Fleetwood, I'm a little bit optimistic about their home form not being very good from an Oxford perspective, because that will play a part. Obviously, we played them early in the season. It was 1-1, where Fleetwood's away record's really, really good. Oxford on the road this season, better than it was last year, better than our home form, I think. So I guess that does play a part. But again, quite a tedious last couple of games for Oxford. Plus that Exeter result was just horrendous. 4-0 Fleetwood, 1-1, 0-0, written all over it. Fleetwood are missing Rooney for this one. No, I don't know. I presume they are. That red card is still seeing them out. 1-1, 0-0, written all over it. Yeah, you're not feeling more confidence here. You're not. But I respect that. But yeah, it's tough, isn't it? In fact, let's have a look at the away record. We're Oxford, 13th. Home record, we're 19th. But yeah, look at Fleetwood's away record, we're at 5th. So I'm glad we're playing away. But still. Oxford are favourites, 44%. I don't know. Again, you just don't know what you're going to get from Oxford. If we come up the block straight away firing, then we could be fine. 1-0 Oxford Fleetwood will be hard to beat. Nice since the QPR result, but you should outclass them. Should we though, Alex? Should we? You know, they've been better than us this season, really. That's the bottom line. 2-1 Fleetwood. You know what? I can see a 1-1. I can see a 1-1. It's gonna remind me of the Accrington result against Oxford, which was 1-1 earlier in the season. It was just so like we'll probably take the lead, and then we'll just concede. We'll concede late on, or the last sort of 10 minutes, and then just be holding up and probably end up like potentially losing the game if we're not careful. Yeah, I can see 1-1, but I think we'll take my prediction is 1-1. We'll take the lead, and then we'll just try and sit back and try and protect what we've got, and allow Fleetwood to come forward, and we'll just concede through that. I'm gonna go 1-1, but the bookies are backing us somehow. I'm not quite sure what they've seen. I guess it is the home and the away record maybe that they're sort of building off, but yeah, they have but haven't. They're inconsistent. Yeah, that is true. They're better than us though, I'd say. Can easily see 1-1 or 1-0. Inconsistent, yeah. If Oxford lose 3-0 to a small team like Arsenal, I reckon it'll be 14-0 against a massive like Fleetwood. That's how it works, isn't it, football? Fleetwood played some good stuff against Wednesday at times on Boxing Day. If they didn't play in such an awful windy place, they'd be a good team. Blaming the wind, says Regan. I get what you mean. Right then, let's go to... Where are we going now? Let's go to Wycombe versus... In fact, no, let's do that one. Let's do Cheltenham Derby. Cheltenham Derby. By the way, if you haven't left a like, please do that. How far into this are we? We've got a couple more to go. I think 3 or 4 to go. 2 horses, Cameron Finch. Cheltenham are currently 18th in the league. I mean, they've lost 4 from their last 5. But there's again sort of expected to where Cheltenham sort of are really around sort of above mid-table, above sort of the relegation zone. I think they probably still will be okay in terms of staying in the league. Big rejuvenation a couple of weeks ago, and then the last sort of 5 games there has been a bit of a drop off. They won in the middle of what was quite a poor run really. Scared for Fleetwood at home. They're good, but I think we have to edge it. 3-0 Derby. Promise Amishu Masterclass. Cheltenham 0, Derby 3. Yeah, finally says Yendi. Of course, Derby fan. 2-0 Derby. 4-1 Derby. 4-1 to Derby. A couple of 4-1s there. Got a lot of Derby fans or neutrals giving their thoughts. 2-0 to Derby. 5-0 Derby. People are back in the Derby. And I can see why Derby are on the up. I think now there is a level of real consistency in a positive way. There's a lot of inconsistency sort of when Liam Rosner was in charge. Like Paul Warren's come in, he's now really sort of found some groove, and I think we are now seeing the Derby that we expected to see with those quality of players in that squad. We probably will see more players come in for Derby. I know it has been quite quiet there, but I think generally we will see Derby get better and better. Could Derby sneak into that top 3 race? I don't know. They have got a game in hand on Sheffield Wednesday and Ipswich, and 2 on Plymouth. I still think they're going to finish in the top 6 comfortably. Maybe not that top 3, but they're doing well. They are doing really well. 16 games unbeaten. Says a lot about us. Says Lewis. 2-0 to Derby. 5-0 Derby. Is it really 16 games unbeaten? That's really impressive. 2-0 Derby. Cheltenham performance. Haven't got with the results. They've been decent. Cheltenham at home will be a tough place to go, but Derby just have to be class. I think this is one of the games where Cheltenham will make it really quite nitty-gritty and try and, I guess, frustrate Derby and probably, stop them playing with rhythm. If you play with rhythm, a Derby side and a Paul Warren side, that can be really dangerous. When Derby get into a groove, and when they get into a groove on the field with a level of momentum, that's so hard to stop. Cheltenham in the home, so they will try and prevent them from doing that. But I think Derby got to see through that. And if they are a top 6 team, which I think they are showing, they will do that. Derby won't go automatically. They'll be lucky to come close to it, but they'll do well in the playoffs. Yeah, I think you're probably right, Alex. I'm going to go with Derby win here. What are the odds, sorry, before we move on? 21%, 57%. Heavy Derby one there. Heavy Derby. Yeah, I'm going to go Cheltenham to win. I'm going to go... Sorry, not Cheltenham to win. Derby to win. I'm going to go Cheltenham 1, Derby 3. I think Derby will see through that purely based on, I think, ability in that squad. But Cheltenham will make it hard. They will make it hard. I'm pretty confident of that. Right then. Let's move on. Ipswich, Sheffield Wednesday, Bolton are going up. It'll be tough a game for us. I can see them scoring, but I'm going to go 2-1. Says A-Y sit. Right then, let's go to Bolton, Portsmouth. Did I pause there? I was sort of waiting for something to happen, but it didn't. Bolton against Portsmouth. Bolton are 5th in the league. Pompey are 13th. Portsmouth still without a manager. I thought they did really well against Tottenham, actually. I thought the first half in particular, they held them out really well. Away from home as well was not easy. I mean, playing Tottenham alone is not easy at the moment. And with Pompey's form, I think it easily could have been much worse. A lot of people would have probably predicted worse as well. But Portsmouth, a lot of speculation about the new manager. I said about it earlier. Who's going to be? No one really knows. Liam Mannett's the favourite. It doesn't really matter. I don't think he's going to be in charge for this game, whoever it will be. Or she, I don't know. But, again, they're going to... This is a tough game. This is tough. Bolton are sort of off the back of a really, really good... well, actually they drew. They played, didn't they, against Plymouth 0-0, which is a good point, really. But I was speaking about that really good win against Barnsley. But it is a good draw against Plymouth as well. So they are confident now. I think Bolton are sort of levelling out with consistency a little bit more. They are drawing a few, but they're staying, away from defeats, which is good. 2-2, both teams are good. Pompey falling, they need to bounce back. Bolton 2-0, 3-0 to Bolton 1-1, 5-1 Derby loss, says Cameron Finch. Interesting. 2-1 Bolton draw, 3-1 to Bolton against Portsmouth. Pompey didn't really offer anything attacking against Spurs. That is important, Callum, but they did hold on in that first half anyway. And the second half as well, they only conceded one goal. It was a Harry Kane wonder strike. So to be honest with you, yes, didn't offer anything going forward, but soaking up the pressure was what that game plan was always going to be. I think they did do that quite well. Incoming Sunderland repeat, 6-0 Bolton. 2-0 Bolton. People are back in Bolton. I can see why, of course, Pompey are in very, very bad form. Haven't won a game in November, December or January yet. Really, really bad. And without a manager. Bolton, heavy favourites, 49%, 29% to Portsmouth. Yeah. I can still see a draw, though. Why is it I can still see a draw? Everyone's going to write Pompey off here because of what is going on. And that is fair. But I can see a draw. Sorry, Bolton. I can see it. I'm going to go 1-1. I can see a draw in this game. And you'd agree with me. 1-1, just seen that. I think backs against the wall could work for Pompey here. So I'm going to go 1-1. But Bolton will be favourites. I mean, they are playing against a side who are in horrendous form without a manager. So, I mean, you can see why the bookers have gone with that. Hi, just came from watching the mid-season predictions, says Max. Thank you very much, Max, for watching that video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Who do you support? Are you happy with the prediction? 4-1 Bolton would be typical Bolton to draw. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm going to go with a draw. Sorry, Bolton. I'm going to go with a draw. Is that everything on that page? I think it is. We've still got 3 more. No, 2 more. It's a penultimate game. Wycombe against Sheffield Wednesday. We have got a game to watch. I believe the Chelsea game has just kicked off, so we won't go too far over an hour. But Wycombe Wanderers against Sheffield Wednesday. Up next, Wycombe 7th, won their last game. And typical Wycombe, just outside that top 6, and of course they are. Sheffield Wednesday are in 2nd, and still with that game in hand, they can go on 55 points. So Plymouth, they're breathing down the necks of Plymouth, of course, who drew their last game. Sheffield Wednesday off the back of a result against Newcastle. There'll be confidence there. Yeah, it wasn't in League One, but they still have the confidence in that squad. Windass is on fire, by the way. Windass is on form. He is taking the chances. He was brilliant in the game before. Who were they against? Cambridge, wasn't it? Was it Cambridge? I think it was. 5-0 against Cambridge, yeah. Brilliant against Cambridge and then brilliant against Newcastle. Windass is on fire. Watch out for him. 1-1 between those two sides. But again, it is Adams Park, and it is Wycombe. Unfortunately, it is Wycombe. Wycombe win, never write them off. Exactly, Craig. That is very, very true. You cannot write the Wycombe boys off, and Gareth Ainsworth will set up to pose a problem, a big problem. What are the odds saying then? The odds going to go from there. They are 29% to Wycombe, 48% to Sheffield Wednesday. Never write off Wycombe, 3-0 Wednesday, 2-1 Wednesday, 4-0 Wednesday. I can't see 4-0. I can't see it. Wycombe won't do that. I can 2-1 Wednesday. Wycombe. We'll try and make our players sleep. Home game was easy for us, hoping for something similar. Also, the Newcastle win will hit us with confidence. 0-0 Borefest likely, says Alex. But he's gone with 2-1. I presume he's sort of gone with a head and a heart prediction there. Wycombe 1-0 with Wycombe ball. 5 goals in 2 games for Windass. Unbelievable. 4-0 Wednesday. Our new striker will be playing, says Cameron Finch. Who was that new striker? 2-1 Wycombe, early goal and defend for the rest of the game. 2-0 from a counter and Wednesday score late. You can't write Wycombe off, can you? Winner's hat-trick and Smith. 4-0. I believe that prediction was earlier, yeah. From RY, the Wednesday. Wycombe defence is tight as a duck's backside. Says Andy Law. 1-0 Wycombe. I can see that. Wednesday lost our best centre-back, which will be a problem, says Max Walker. Yeah, this is so difficult. What do we look at the odds? No. 29% Wycombe, 48% to Sheffield Wednesday. So they are back in the away side here. In Wycombe style, I can see 2-0. And that's big, bold prediction there. Sorry, I've got a lot of Sheffield Wednesday fans, but I can just see it. I can see something like Wycombe doing that. Like, I know, like when they did the Pompey, I know they're in sort of bad form, but they just ripped them apart. You know what? I'm going to go my guns here. Not 2-0. I'm just going to see 1-0. Now I'm going to do it. I'm so sorry, Sheffield Wednesday fans. And if I'm right, and if I'm wrong, you have all right to never predict Sheffield Wednesday again. But I'm going to go 2-0 Wycombe. I can just see it. Something out. They've beaten Ipswich. They know what to do against these sides. They've beaten Ipswich. They've beaten Pompey. I know Pompey weren't where they are, but they were higher than they are now. I can just do it. I can just see Wycombe do it. And I don't like it. I don't really like Wycombe, to be honest with you. As an Oxford fan. I like what they're about as a club, but I don't really like them as a playing side, but not many people do. To be fair, we never win at their place. Boo, Jack Lowe. Nah, sorry. I don't blame you. We never win there. I just don't. I could see Wycombe do it. Wycombe beat Ipswich the other day as well and couldn't have easily beat us at home part. I just don't know. Robbie says, wow. Well, he didn't said that, but his face, I say it. His face doesn't. His emoji he put in there. Right, we're moving on then to the big one. Tell your friends about it. Cambridge Morecambe. I'm joking. We've done that. Right, let's move on then. It is the final. I'm just checking. It is the big one then. Let's do it. Let's have it. Ipswich against Plymouth. Let's have a little go at this one then. First versus third. Both teams drawing coming into this one. And both sides, for me, are winning the window. Their transfer window, by the way, for these two clubs has been exceptional. Plymouth have gone, we are league leaders. We'll have you, and you. Morecambe Whittaker being recalled is a problem, but they have come and replaced him fairly well with quite a few names that do excite me. Wright from Villa is a good pickup. Is it Wayne? I could be wrong there. Began with a double. Is it Wayne from New Zealand? He's going to be quite an exciting striker. Everyone's talking about him. Looks quite good. Matete on loan from Sunderland is a really quite tenacious midfielder. I guess he's sort of replacing Kamara, who's been injured for a lot of the season. I like what Plymouth have done there. They've really, really strengthened this squad. Ipswich, we need a striker. Let's go and get Broadhead on a permanent deal for £1.5 million. And Ipswich also have gone and got George Hurst as well, who was brilliant for Plymouth for the second half of the season. So they've strengthened. For me, those two clubs are amazing. Before we do the prediction, please do leave a like and subscribe. On the 61 likes, I believe, right now. Can we get up to 70 before? What are we on now? We're on 63. Please do leave a like. We're on the road now to 70 likes for the stream. That'd be amazing. Matthew says 1-0 Argyle. I'm going 3-1 statement win for Town. 1-1 Hardy for Argyle. I want a draw, but I can see Ipswich winning pretty easily. What a day out this is going to be. 2,144 of us Greens taking a 620-mile road trip, 4 a.m. start, says Callum. He's excited. I can see why. Except for Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday fans, I think the whole country is praying for Argyle to get promoted this year, so proud of our boys. Matete is a very Kamara-type player. Callum, I think I agree with you. Ipswich need a win. I feel never write off Sushi. Can't wait, but watch till the end. 0-0. I take my hat off to Plymouth and Ipswich in January. Great business. I do as well. It's frustrating me because we need players. We need strikers. And they've just gone and bought the best two strikers, I think, available. Hurst and Broadhead. I mean, are not available. They could have got Haaland, but he's not available. So, yeah, I guess it was available. Those are two very good strikers. Kenny talks 30, Ipswich 3, Plymouth 0. Argyle most will be a 3-0, but Ipswich will be clinical. 1-0 till late, then 2 sucker punches from Ipswich there. 3-2 to Ipswich. Wow. Ipswich really do need a win, really. They need to stay in that pack. Of course, if they win, they've got, it'll be 3 points, obviously, closer, but then obviously the game in hand will still be available, obviously, because they're playing against the side. They've got one game in hand already on. 3-1 Ipswich. We've sold out the home end. 28k in the Portman Road special atmosphere. Come on, you. Plymouth? No. Tractor Boys? No. Don't know. As has travelled, I think Ipswich will beat us, but it will be a class atmosphere and game. Love your podcast, by the way. Up the Argyle. Thank you very much, Graham Chapman. Very kind words. I appreciate that. Massively. Fortuna dissed off fans flying over to support Ipswich. Really? They've got a worldwide, or in that case, German connection. I believe they are German. Sorry if they're not. I think they are. Hopefully, Drew, then Wednesday can close on the title, says Max. Yeah, this is a big game for Wednesday as well. The Spider is still roaming around, but home crowd will lift it. 2-1 win to Sheffield Wednesday. 65% for Ipswich. Do you know what? In these type of games, it's either going to be... I'm seeing a draw, but I can see goals here. 47, I think there's 2 top goal scorers in the league, yeah. 47 goals for Ipswich. Plymouth, 46 goals. You know what? I really hope it is this, but I hope it is this from a neutral because it'd be such an interesting game. I'm going to go 2-2. I am going to go 2-2. But give me your thoughts. Give me your predictions in the chat, as always. Also, our Norwegian fans flying over. Huge result is needed. Not season defining. The pressure is on Town and Argyle get the first goal. The crowd will turn. A bad referee decision will get the result either way, says Paul Keywood. Ipswich are good. They are good. Bookies heavily favouring Ipswich. They are. I guess home advantage is important here. Yeah. I've gone 2-2. I've gone 2-2. Of course, give me your thoughts before we wrap up here. 3-3. 3-3. Winner of this wins the title, in my opinion, says Alex. I did say title decider, but I know people are like, but Sheffield Wednesday is still in there, and it's still second half of the season to go, and that is all true. Whatever the score's a long way to go yet, guys. There is a long way to go. It is a very, very long way. 3-1 to Town, says Jack the Boss 19. Thank you very, very much for joining me today. It's been really, really good, and yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Please leave a like. Please do subscribe on your way out. We're on 70. Are we nearly on 70? We might not be on 70. I might have just made that up. We are on 69 likes. Hello. One more like, just for everyone's sake. Let's get to 70 likes, and that'll be amazing. And yeah, I'll see you all very, very soon. Hopefully you did enjoy it. I guess, we've been doing score. I was going to say, yeah, we can do that. Say the score prediction you think your side's going to get as you leave. That'd be interesting. Jack in the chat, great stream. Cheers, Jack in the chat. Great stream. We're still in the race, but for second, too early, says Stevie. It's all getting up now. Who's going to win the league? No one knows. No one knows. I don't think it is decided, to be honest. Argyle's next game is Cheltenham, says Andy Laidlaw. I've been Jack. It's been the Unfan Podcast. Take care, stay safe. Enjoy the Chelsea game that is on telly now, so I will be going to watch